We are rolling.
Good morning. Welcome back to the conversation. This is Pointing Out the Obvious. This is our news and politics and sports betting webcast. I'm your host, Dizzy the Cooler Bronson. And over there is my very opinionated producer, Veronica. Together we're here to quip, bang, quiver through today's headlines, searching for the real, no matter how deep in the swamp we need to go. Happy Thursday to you, Veronica. As you know, this is our sports betting webcast where we do a review on how well we betted last week and versus what we're doing this week. And, of course, giving our 3 bet the house picks. All right, let's get started with the review of last week. Veronica, real quick. You know how some bettors enjoy the adrenaline of those heartbreak losses? You've heard that, right?
Yeah.
Some bettors, actually, gamblers, enjoy the losing as much as they enjoy the emotional ride of the winning. You've heard that, right?
I guess, but that's not my case.
Well, because if you're like that, like I'm like that, then last week, my friends, was a good week. We went 0 for 3. Now, they were heartbreak losses in every single one. Let's start off with the main one. USC, a 7-point favorite over Stanford at home. Stanford coming off of one of the worst performances in their school history. We'll talk about a bounce-back performance. They came into the Coliseum and they ramshotted USC.
Just to make...
And their head coach, Clay Helton, out of the job. Literally.
Just to make sure that you guys understand, he told me and promised me that they were gonna win. So that's on you.
You don't bet the house unless you really mean bet the house. And so, I expected USC to take care of business. Who didn't? Including my compadres who went to the game and witnessed this shellacking along with me. We left before the fourth quarter. That's how bad it was. But once again, with every challenge comes the door of opportunity. What happened? We witnessed the last game of a really poor coach, a really subpar recruiter, which are two things that you absolutely need to be as a good, successful college coach. Thank you, Mr. Coach Helton, for being a stand-up guy from all accounts, a nice guy, but we need more than just a nice guy, and you're out the door. So that was loss number 1. Remember the Las Vegas Raiders? Remember how we thought they would be a little too hungover from being in Vegas to beat Baltimore? Well, that didn't quite happen. That turned out to be a real shootout. Right? And so Baltimore, unfortunately, fell short, and that was number 2, bet the house picks. Good thing we have a lot of houses to bet.
Oh, yeah.
Now, here's the thing on the 3rd. If you remember, we had San Francisco over Detroit, but we also parlayed the bet, meaning we also added to the wager that we expected the score to be under 59.5. San Francisco beat Lions. That was great. They, of course, let the Lions climb back into it in garbage time and push the overall score of the game, even though it was well out of hand for most of the game, but it boosted it over the 59.5, so unfortunately we ended up losing that third one. But like I said, it's the roller coaster of the winning and the losing that sometimes actually balances out. That's what I do it for.
I don't think like that, but okay.
Now, the reason why I say that is because, all right, those are our stated bets, right? And so we'll be on record on the 0 for 3. But we do other fantasy football activities. Great news. We were the weekly winners out of our fantasy football league, the draft, managing your team throughout the season kind of deal. We won the $50 prize.
Nice. I like that. I like that.
So, we have that now. And also, although San Francisco couldn't keep the ridiculously poor Detroit offense out of the end zone to allow us to win a wager, they did, however, win as the survivor. And so we've moved on. You and I went into round 2. And so now I don't see any reason to break a winning formula, right? I think we need to follow Detroit around. So Detroit's playing again. This time they're going to the colder climate of Green Bay. You know Wisconsin. It's a hard place to play. So I think Green Bay this week will be our survivor pick of the week. And coincidentally, that'll be our first bet the house pick for week number 2. Now, they're 11-point favorites, so I hate when we take favorites that have that big of a margin.
That's a lot, 11.
We are going for the win only, but now with them keeping the points under 58. 58 points is what we're going to be trying to say. I think they are going to be scoring a lot of points, so we are going to take Green Bay, but we're going on the over on the 58. Okay, good college games this week, Veronica. Just some really good ones that I just couldn't ignore. For instance, Alabama, the number 1 team, is playing Florida, the number 4 team. And I think Alabama is going to beat Florida. And I think it's going to be a shootout. What makes me think this is an easy bet is I think both teams are going to score a lot of points. So we're going to go with the over 59.5. So Alabama and Florida to win. We're not taking the spread, but we're expecting it to be a shootout, 59.5. Here's another one that I love watching. It's a weird tone game, but it's one that I think is a great one. Notre Dame over Purdue. Most people wouldn't consider that per se a nationally big game, but I do, because when those two teams get together, it's always a shootout. It's always a great game where there's a lot of points scored, a lot of big plays, right? So really exciting. So we're taking Notre Dame to beat Purdue, but the over 58 points, right? I mean, that's a pretty decent...
I'm trusting you on that one.
We're going to go over 58 points. Notre Dame to beat Purdue and over 58 points. And then on the Survivor, remember now, we're going to go with the winning strategy. We're going to follow Detroit around until they win one and prove us wrong, right? Green Bay. We're taking Green Bay as our Survivor pick. You got it? All right. Guys, there's no right answer. There's no wrong answer. But there is your opinion. Please don't just subscribe to this show, even though we will be doing this sports forecasting, sports betting on a weekly basis on the Thursdays.
Yep.
Guys, please lend your voices to the noise. It'll make it a whole lot more fun, guys. No matter what comes your way today, no matter what obstacles or challenges you may face, you just need to remember one thing.
Give them hell.
Have a great day, guys. Take care.